It's easy to forget that marriage needs God when
Needs God.
things are good.
Yes, things are good, and God is not your go-to when it's bad.
Right.
He's your sustainer and maintainer even when it's good.
Welcome to Doing It with the Daniels, the podcast where we navigate life, marriage, and ministry. I'm Charles.
And I'm Tesa. Join us as we share insights, wisdom, and practical advice to strengthen your marriage, empower your life, and enrich your ministry.
Let's dive in together and discover the joys of doing it with the Daniels.
Hey, welcome to Doing It with the Daniels, where we help couples get it on in life, marriage, and ministry. So glad to be back with you again this week for Doing It with the Daniels. What's up, babe?
What's going on?
I am great. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. You're excited, huh?
I am. I'm with you. I'm always excited when I'm with you.
It's always exciting to do the podcast.
And I'm hanging with my boo.
You're so crazy.
You remember that TV show, Cooper?
Yeah.
Hanging with my boo. It's such a...
I didn't know that was the words. Did they say boo?
Oh, that's what I thought I heard.
I don't know if that's the right word.
I don't know. That's what I used to say. I'm
You know how
hanging
it
with my
is.
boo.
We make up our own lyrics.
Sure do.
That's
We
funny.
do. But what's going on? You doing all right?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Good. I am doing great.
That's good.
Ready to jump in with another episode of the podcast and get to
Okay.
be with you, get to be with our team today.
Come
So
on. We
glad-
have a good time
We
behind
have a
the scenes.
good time. I love these people, man. They
Uh-huh.
are such a blessing to me. Let me quit talking. I get emotional, start crying. But I just love them so much. And yeah,
We have fun.
we do. So come on. So what's up? What we got today? What are we talking about? You know, we like to jump right in, get straight to it. We had a busy week.
Yes.
Over this last weekend, coming into the week, it's been a
We
busy
did.
week, and it seems like, man, we're already back here shooting a new episode of the podcast. It's like it's rolling,
Yeah,
you know,
it is.
from
It
week
is.
to week, rolling, being able to do it. But I mean, it's exciting. I think the day before we have that kind of anxiousness and that anticipation about it. And then on the day of, when it's time to do it, it's like, man, we're excited. We're going to jump in here. Let's make sure we give them the best value that
Right.
we can. Wisdom, we want to share and impart to them and really help them.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad, you know, once the lights go hot and the cameras get to rolling,
Hey, it's go time.
it's go time. It's go time. Time to help somebody.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing we get to do this. You never know, with the use of technology, the internet, live streaming, audio and video, YouTube, and all that kind of stuff. You never know who's listening, you know, unless they tell us.
Yeah, and I love when we get feedback on, you know, the episodes and what they liked, what they're struggling with and what they enjoyed. I love to hear the feedback.
Yeah, I think the blessing is that even from the feedback, even to those that we don't get it from, but they're blessed by it.
Yeah,
Sometimes we may never know
right.
who's being impacted, but I believe God will reward us. I believe there's a reward
Yeah.
for our efforts and our labor, even for those we don't know who are
Yeah.
benefiting from this.
Yeah.
And so it's just a joy.
It
It's a
is.
joy to do it. It's a joy to just know that somebody's benefiting
Right.
from our journey
Exactly.
and our experience. And, you know, we often talk about we've had a great marriage. We had a great run in our marriage, and plan to continue
Yes,
to have
to
some
have a
great
great
times.
time.
Yeah. But even with that, although it's been good, we've learned some things
Oh yeah.
from the good and, the bad. Yeah, you don't have to have a bad marriage in order to be able to share things with people about how to navigate marriage. As a
Right.
matter of fact, I want to talk to people who've had good marriages because they've done something right.
Right.
You know, I don't need to know all the details of your every mistake that you made and how terrible it was. And then the last few years, you figured out how to make it good.
Right.
Man, like it took you a long time to learn some things, but I
But yeah,
think
but you learn from those
you
mistakes.
do. You absolutely learn from those mistakes. And I think for us, we've had good and bad. We had a balance
Yeah.
of good and bad. Well, I won't even say a balance. I don't think that's a good representation of our experience. I don't think it was a balance.
What do you
I
think
think-
it was?
I think the good outweighed the bad. I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think you know there's a little bad and a whole lot of
Good.
good that we have encountered. But I think we were able to recognize. I think that's the key. We
Yeah.
recognize what could have been bad
Yeah.
and adjusted
Adjust it.
before it became bad. Now, some things were bad. We had to navigate through, but we got through it, right?
That's that brokenness, those scars that you come in
Oh,
with.
yeah.
And so those things were the bad stuff that we wasn't ready for, I don't think, in the beginning, because we didn't realize that we were so broken and we're trying to come together and be one. And so I think that was a shocker, you know, for both of us in learning, you know, how to deal with all of that together. Now I'm not just by myself, and I don't have to I'm not dealing with just all those scars and the baggage and the things from my childhood by myself. Now I'm putting that on you as well. And so now we got to work together to unpack all of this stuff.
Totally agree. Totally agree. I think that's a great assessment about what creates kind of the bad experiences in marriage. It's not that marriage is bad or life is bad. Sometimes it's just some unhealed areas, baggage, wounds, scars, traumas that don't really surface until you start living life with somebody else. And all of that starts to affect them, and they start to let you know, hey, all your stuff is hitting me.
Yeah.
Right. And now it's like, wait, that's a problem because I didn't marry you to take on all your stuff. But when you marry somebody, you do take on all of that. And then you have to adjust.
Yep. We got to help them out with it.
Well, what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about adjusting to a shared life in marriage.
Adjusting
make some adjustments.
Yes, got to make those adjustments. I think that's a difficult place for a lot of people because I don't think we talk much about or we think much about changing when we get married or what areas we have to change in. And so we're going to give the people some things today, but we can't give you everything.
No.
I mean, and it's going to change because when you first get married, if there are no children involved, when we got married, there was a child involved.
Yeah.
So there were adjustments around how we did life as a couple and parenting adjustments.
Yeah, and I think you had to adjust in that area. Because
Well, I think both of us did because you didn't. Okay, I had to adjust because I'm coming in
With
to
the
what
child.
they used to call a ready-made family.
Yeah.
So there's a child, but also you had to adjust with now having somebody
Yes.
parent your child alongside
Ooh,
you
yes. Yeah.
that was not there before.
That was a huge adjustment.
Yeah. So there were adjustments that we had to make in our shared life that we had to navigate and learn to navigate and become comfortable with the uncomfortable aspects of it.
Yeah. That was real. That was adjustment for me, even when you said that about, the child, because I had to, in my mind, wanted to make sure you loved him just as much as you love me. So when you disciplined him, that it was coming from a pure place.
Yeah.
So that was tough.
Yeah. I mean, and it's real because if we're going to have a family, there's certain aspects that need to be in place.
Yeah.
I don't believe in the whole you marry somebody, but they can't say anything to your child.
Yeah.
If you get married and you already have a child, you don't get married and then say, don't say nothing to my child.
Yeah.
That's going to be a problem.
That's a huge problem.
That child needs to understand how to respect
Both parents.
Even if it's a step parent, they need to know how to respect even that step parent. There cannot be this whole thing of, I discipline my child, you don't say anything to them. That's a problem.
Yeah.
If they I'm paying the rent or the mortgage, they eating the food that I'm buying, I'm making sure I'm putting in money to make sure they got clothes on their back, but I can't say anything to them. No, we need to talk about this adjustment. We need to talk about that before we get married.
Yes.
Because I might not want to marry you.
Exactly. Those are those conversations that needs to happen before. And I don't think, a lot of people have those.
No.
Because we're so excited, we got the butterflies and we so in love. And it's like after, you get married, then that's when all that stuff comes.
Yeah.
And you just be like, what in the world?
When the butterflies leave,
Yeah.
then you gotta
In
deal
real
with
life. Got real life and real life issues.
Oh yeah.
So the first thing I would say is putting each other first.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think that becomes huge. I think for me, early on in our marriage, I may have struggled with understanding. Because, before we got married, I was just concerned about me.
Oh, yeah.
I was taking care of me, doing me, But then we get married and it's like, oh, I need to consider you. But I'm like, you should consider yourself.
You ain't right.
Or if it's something I need to consider about you, tell me. So I know, for me, I would go to get me some food and come home with me some food. And you'd be like, did you bring me anything? Like, no, I thought you got your own food.
It was like a whole, I don't know what. And my mom, what is going on in your head?
I don't know. I guess I was just used to, hey, well, if I'm feeding me, surely she feeding herself. And you just you didn't think to call and ask me if I was hungry or wanted something to eat. Well, no, because weren't you feeding yourself before we met? So now when I stop to get food, I got to get you food too. I
Or
didn't
you
know.
could just say, call and say, hey, I'm finna go get this. Do you want anything? Do you need anything?
Yeah. And then keep in mind, we were young.
Mm-hmm.
And
We were young.
We were young. So I'm like, that didn't.
We're going to give you some grace.
Yeah, give me some grace. Give me some grace. That young version of me. But I just didn't think. I think about it. I mean, I figure in my mind, the way I process it, I'm getting food. Surely you already got you something to eat, or you're going to. Why would I call you and say, hey, baby, let me bring you something?
But you do it now, though, right?
I do it now. I've
Okay.
learned better. I've learned better. If I start, I better not show up with something for me and nothing for you. So, no, hey, I'm here. You want something? Just like I went to get Trey some food the other day. Our youngest son, I went to get him. He said he wanted some wings. Well, I know you like wings. So while we were there, I called, hey, babe, would you like something?
You did. I was proud of you.
Yeah. No, I'm good now.
You good
I got
now?
this. I got this
How
thing
long
now.
did it take you to get it?
In recent years.
Hey, it don't matter. Thank God you got it.
It all came together, you know. It was an adjustment.
It was a huge adjustment.
And I had to leave the me first mentality and really think about, okay, yeah, I do have responsibility to myself because I'm an adult.
Yeah.
But I also have responsibility to my wife because that's my wife and I love her.
Yeah.
And I notice a big part of it is that you like to know that I'm thinking about you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't realize that. It wasn't about, well, she'll take care of herself. She's an adult. No, it wasn't about that. It was about you just wanting to know that I'm thinking about you. I'm considering you in the decisions that I'm making. And at first, I wasn't considering you. I did, but it was faulty consideration. My thought process was flawed. But now it's like, okay, I'm considering you and what I can do to assist you in that
So
thought.
do you think that's most men? Because most women are considerate, especially with their husbands.
I do. In my experience, with us talking with couples and other men, I do think men tend to be a little selfish. Some are more selfish than others in their relationship. Women, I don't think so much because women are natural nurturers typically. So they're always considering other people like children and their spouses. Like it's something I believe God put in them to be that.
Yeah.
And so they show that consideration to their spouses, and they expect that in return. But they don't realize that we not built like that.
Because I used to be like, what is wrong? There's something wrong.
I mean, even with our children, sometimes I have to like really be intentional about asking them, hey, are you hungry?
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I feel like if you're hungry, you come tell me you're hungry. But I realize all kids aren't like that. Some kids wait for you to ask, or they want to see what you're going to do. Like they expect you to know they got to eat.
Yeah.
But for me, if I'm not eating one day, or maybe I'm busy or something and I don't stop, I expect, Trey to be like, hey, Dad, can you give me some food? Or if we don't, or is there something in the house I can eat, or you want me to get you something? Like, what do you want? I expect him to say something, but I notice he doesn't always say it. But as a father, I have to say, hey, son, hey,
after a certain time.
You had breakfast this morning. It's a little bit later now. You hungry? You want something? And he may be like, yeah, I'm hungry. And I'll be like, why didn't you say something? Why didn't you tell me? Why I got to ask you, are you hungry? But I remember even growing up, I was the same way. My dad was the same way. Sometimes my dad would ask me, are you hungry? I'd be like, yeah. He was like, why didn't you tell me? Like, well, I was just waiting on you to tell me when you was going to feed us. So we tend to do that, but we as men, we kind of miss that consideration piece.
Yeah.
Whereas women, I can remember my mom had always, you hungry? You want something to eat? You need anything? It was a constant, always checking. Everything okay? How she could tell if something went wrong at school or something. If I walked through the door, she could look, what's wrong? What's going on? I'm like, what you mean? I'm fine. No, you just look like something's wrong.
Yeah, we can just tell. We just look at you. We just know.
Yeah. And so with men, you come walking in, looking all long face, we're like, hey, how was your day? Obviously, it's all clue. Like, I guess you all right. If something wrong, you'll tell me.
So that's it. Adjusting or putting each other first.
Yeah. Putting each other first and moving beyond the me first mentality, I think is huge.
Yeah. You had a real good run with that. So thank God that everything's changed and you put us first now.
Right. We grow, we change, we develop. And that's where we have to give each other grace and time to learn.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where we got to be careful that we don't become frustrated with one another.
Mm-hmm.
And we just kind of blow each other off or say this is not working.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not working, because the two have to become one. There has to be an adjustment period in the process of the marriage. You know, we often talk about that. That's the hardest part, where a lot of couples in those first, if I were to give a range, first 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
some people, I know for us, for me, a lot of things were the first 5 years
Yeah.
of our marriage. There was a lot of adjusting, resistance to change,
Mm-hmm.
and then embracing change later on.
Yeah.
That had to take place.
Yeah.
And really, some things took the help of God.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just awareness or I was talking about it. God had to really help us make those adjustments.
Mm-hmm. So that goes into how would you adjust into a shared life
Mm-hmm.
in marriage?
How would you adjust into a shared
Uh-huh.
life? I mean, that's I think that's the whole key. Adjusting to a shared life. That's one aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Letting go of the me first mentality
Mm-hmm.
is a start, and then allowing God to walk you through how to be more considerate and caring and attentive to your spouse.
Mm-hmm. But when you're talking about a shared life, it's like when you get together and you're used to doing things on your own, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So you're used to waking up one way and you just wake up and you get ready and you going out the door, but your wife likes to open the blinds and let the sunlight in, and maybe a little talkative, and or maybe like to turn on the news. You know what I'm saying? So that part of like a shared life needs adjusting also.
Yeah, yeah. So I would say, so that's like a second point within that, a overarching point. So when the first one we're talking about letting go of the me first mentality, then getting into, like you said, that shared life,
Yeah.
dealing with behaviors, attitudes, typical your way of doing life that you have to adjust because it affects your partner
It
now.
does.
So that's what you're referring to. Yeah, that's a big deal, because I can remember when we first got married. You had your way of doing mornings. Go ahead and tell the people how you
Wait.
like to do mornings.
I like to.
No. Don't start stuttering now. Go say how you typically used to start your mornings.
Wait. I used to get up and like, good morning. It's a great morning. What we got to do today? We got to do this and this. And, and I'm just like, and I'm just asking you questions.
You ready to talk?
And I'm ready to talk.
And what else? Turning lights on.
Opening the blinds.
And what else?
And years ago, I would like turn the news on.
Turn news, and you want to see the weather and traffic. Okay, what else?
And maybe turn some music on sometimes.
Music, yep. You want to get your worship on and all that. Then what else?
That's it.
You was banging stuff. I mean, water running in the bathroom,
I mean,
drawers
you can't be
open and
quiet.
closed. I mean, when you get ready in the morning, it's loud. It's like, why you can't? When I get up and get ready in the morning and I see you still in the bed asleep, I try to do it quietly. I don't turn on all the lights. I know what my stuff is, because I want you. I don't want to disturb you.
Well, I wasn't used to that, so I ain't.
Exactly. Your morning, you jump up. Hey,
Good morning.
you up? No, I'm not up. What you gotta do today? I'm trying to sleep right now. I haven't started thinking about the day yet.
Well, I'm just
It's
a
a
morning
great
person.
day.
It
I'm
is
feeling
a great
good.
day.
I gotta do this today. I gotta do that. Oh, the boys gotta do this. I gotta take care of this. I don't care. Text me. Tell me about it later.
Well, it was an adjustment.
It was. Let me check the weather. It's cold. Dress warm. And then the weather run constantly. I'm like, man, they done ran the weather report 5 times. You ain't got it yet. Turn the TV off. I'm watching for traffic to see if I need to hurry up and get out of here. See how long. Look, everything clear. If something gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Just leave early, so if it do, you'll get there on time.
So by the time I left, you was what, excited?
No, I was awake. I was like, well, I might as well go and get up, because I can't go back to sleep. Because you would leave before I did.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my goodness, this is an
That was
adjustment.
an adjustment because, I had to not do all of that.
Well, I frustrated you because I wanted you to kind of tone it down. You frustrated me because I wanted you to like, hey, go sit in the corner somewhere, move quietly, be a church mouse, You ain't got to make all this noise to get ready.
Hey, it's a beautiful day.
It was.
It was just it's a joy to just
But
wake up.
that
So
wasn't-
I would just be excited.
That was an adjustment.
Yeah.
That was an adjustment. Now I think we have a balance. You still want to get up and turn the lights on and
I
open
do.
the blinds
Yep.
and all that. I think as we've gotten older as a couple, I'm not gonna say I'm a morning person, but I think I'm up more so. I think now I'm kind of up before you in the morning for the most part. I think I am.
You are not a morning person.
No, I'm not a morning person, but I lean that
You
way more now than I
better.
did then.
Yes.
Yeah. I can deal with it a little bit better now. With I deal with the blinds. I just don't turn the lights on. I can deal with the sunlight, but just leave the lights off. Yeah, let me adjust to getting going, not just everything. Because you turn every light in the house on, babe. The bedroom light on, the bathroom light on, the closet light on, every light is on. So I'm like,
I like light.
but you don't need all that light just to get ready. Like, you got every light on.
Okay. All right, get off me.
But it's an adjustment.
It
And there's
is
so
an
many other,
adjustment.
that's just one example, but there's so many other adjustments of, just how we did things.
Yeah.
You know,
that was-
preparing meals, what we would eat. You know, even going to the grocery store. I mean, that was a big
Ooh,
adjustment.
that was a huge adjustment.
What do you want? Whatever you buy.
I was like, oh my God. Like, come on, go to the grocery store with me. I'm thinking, get married. We're going to go to the grocery store together. We're going to go shopping. And you just like, whatever you buy is what we're going to eat. What?
Right.
Well, what do you like?
I was thinking about like my mom. Like, my
But
mom
they
went
had
to the
been
store.
together for a while. We
No.
got married quick.
No, I'm saying when she went to do that for us, she bought
Yeah.
food for the house.
Yeah.
We didn't go to the store with her. She just went and bought what she thought we would like, and that was
And
it.
so you put that on us.
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
like, babe,
you go to the store,
you go to
whatever
the
you
grocery store,
buy.
whatever you buy is what we gonna eat. And if you buy something we don't eat, we gonna let you know. We don't eat that.
Yeah, I remember when I bought that peanut butter. You like, look, this, don't ever buy this again. I was like, that's why you need to go with me.
Oh, well, but we had to learn. That's how you learn. Right?
So that's why I wanted you to go, so I would learn and know what you liked and what you didn't like.
Yeah.
But hey, we had to do it your way.
You had to say it like that, right?
Hey, I did it your way.
But hey, now you don't
It
need
was an
us.
adjustment.
You
No,
don't
I
need-
don't need y'all anymore.
You go and you get it done, and hey, you know what to buy.
Because now it is whatever I buy is what y'all gonna eat. And I changed some stuff, and y'all had to make the adjustments.
There you go.
So it worked out.
Hey, and that's just a part of it. All right. So what else? What else you got? So we got to make a joke. We got to let go of the me first mindset or attitude. Understanding there's adjustments in the shared life. What else?
Change the way you communicate.
Yes. We all typically have our way of dealing with things. But when you get married,
No
sometimes
more
you'll-
shutting down.
Yeah, no more shutting down. Well, I think you have to navigate shutting down. And then you got to navigate those people who talk about everything. I think both of those create challenges depending on who your spouse is.
Yeah.
So if you like to talk and I like to shut down, that's a problem. I remember early on in our marriage where when challenges would come about, and this is typical of most men, we go internal and we try to process through our challenges. But because I'm married, you feel when I'm processing. So my silence almost feels like rejection
Right.
of you because I'm not letting you in.
And I would come to you and be like, hey, we need to talk about this, and this, because, I can feel that something's not right. And you just was like, I'm not ready to talk about it. And so you would kind of process internally, what was going on in the situation. But I wanted to express outwardly about what it is we need to talk about and address.
Yeah. We had to find that balance because not talking or talking too much at the wrong time can create problems in the communication. So you have to adjust.
But you should not go days or a day
Right.
without talking about an issue.
Well, the Bible talks about don't let the sun go down on your wrath. Now, it may not be an anger issue. It just may be a disagreement or something. But even with that,
You need to talk about it.
you don't need to go night and day, and not address those things because it creates distance or space in the relationship. And wherever there's space,
It's
the
an
enemy's going
opportunity.
to try to slip in that space
Exactly.
and divide and conquer.
Exactly.
And that's his goal with marriage, divide and conquer. Always keep you divided, separated. And if you're not careful, the way you communicate, if you don't adjust in your marriage, you'll be opening the door for the enemy to come in and create problems. Yeah, so some things we got to talk about. Some things maybe we pause and break on, but we got to know when to
come back.
It can't be no 3-day pause, 7-day pause.
2-day.
I'm not talking.
I wouldn't
to
even
you.
say a 1-day pause.
Yeah,
if you can help it, you need to go ahead and deal with it. You need to be able to go gather yourself and then come back and have a conversation.
Absolutely, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
So you have to adjust in your communication.
Definitely. Because a lot of people just, they've been single for so long that they don't have to, you don't have to go and have these conversations. And now you're married. And so now you got to navigate all of that and you got to learn how to communicate.
Yeah, well, imagine when you're single, your disagreements are all external. And when you don't like it, you get sick of it, you frustrated by it, you don't want to deal with it, you just go to your own space, go home.
Yeah.
And it's just you.
Yep.
And you don't have to talk. You can be mad in your own space. You can process in your own space. You can be frustrated in your own space. You can shut down in your own space, and nobody cares but you.
But the person that made you mad is coming home with you.
Yeah, once you get married, they coming home with you. And now you got all this that your mouth may be quiet, but your heart is directing all that to them. And they feel it.
Yes.
And that's not good.
It's not.
In a marriage, in a relationship. And so you have to be willing to adjust, because now my way of communicating or lack thereof is hurting my relationship. It's hurting my marriage.
Right.
And so when you notice it's creating challenges, if you care about your relationship, you have to adjust.
Yes.
The way you communicate.
That's good.
It works for when you're single, but it may not work when you're married. And you got to recognize that.
Yeah. And so the next thing would be keeping God first.
Yeah, that's an adjustment, making sure you keep God first in the marriage, because when things are good, sometimes you can tend to think, oh, we good, not worried about God. God got this, God got it. How people, I don't want to get too preachy, and you know, because we can talk about certain aspects of that, but
it's easy to forget that marriage needs God when things are good.
Yes, things are good, and God is not your go-to when it's bad.
Right.
He's your sustainer and maintainer even when it's good. And so you have to be careful that you don't make God this person you run to fix everything, but then you don't need him once you think everything is worked out.
Yeah.
And that's an adjustment even for couples. Like, let's make sure we keep God at the center of this, and not just, hey, we call on him when we need help.
Yeah. That's what you would say, like faith isn't a backup plan.
Right.
When things start to fall apart.
Yes.
It's kind of like like you said, we go run to God, like fix my marriage, fix my marriage. But if he was the center all along, you wouldn't have to do that.
Yeah. The key is people cannot make their spouse their everything. You see what I'm saying? You can't make your spouse an idol. Yeah. In your relationship.
Some people idolize marriage.
They idolize marriage, and they idolize their spouse, the person they're marrying, and they put that person above God. And so as long as that person is treating you right, making you feel good, and things are well, your relationship with God slips. But as soon as that person doesn't fit the mold or image you want them to fit, now you want to go back to God and say, God, fix them. And that's not how this works. Keep God in it. Both of you honor God from beginning to end. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
That's good.
And that helps to maintain a healthy marriage. So when things do go bad, okay, God, we know you're here with us, and you will help us navigate through. We built our relationship on God, not just look to God for help in times of trouble.
That's good.
So that has to be a thing. If couples have not made God that centerpiece, that's an adjustment, and you need to make that a real adjustment. That goes even beyond before you get married. Yeah. That's a question you have. Is God at the center of this person's life and my life before we get married?
You get into the next episode.
Yeah. If God is not the center, then ain't no adjustments after marriage. Do we need to be married? That's the question. Because if you don't depend on God, that's going to be a rough road. That's going to be a rough road dealing with that marriage piece.
That's right.
So that's my
Keep
thoughts.
God first.
Keep God first. Make him your everything. And It'll be
and
well.
everything will be okay.
Yeah, but you got to make adjustments. Be willing to make those adjustments. So, listen, y'all, I hope that was helpful to you. One of the most important aspects of your relationship is being willing to make adjustments and letting God be God in your life. All right, thank y'all for joining us. Can't wait to see you at the next episode. Take care.
Hey, thank you for joining us for Doing It with the Daniels. If you want to keep up with everything going on our channel, don't forget to
Like, comment, subscribe, and share this podcast.
Absolutely. We'll see you next time.